Swing low.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2025 Innovation Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Samuel Graham Jr., Dean of the A. James Clark School of Engineering.
Good evening, inductees, friends, family, mentors, and distinguished guests. Welcome to the Innovation Hall of Fame induction ceremony. 2025 marks the 40th anniversary of Dean Stanford Berman's commencement address announcing the creation of the Innovation Hall of Fame. Since then, IHOF has celebrated and fostered a culture of innovation and excellence and served a tribute to Maryland innovators whose legacies inspire the university community. We are pleased to be joined by Brian Berman to honor his family's legacy. Dean Berman wanted students to know the impact that they were capable of through engineering. With the support of the alumni chapter, the Innovation Hall of Fame was established to recognize individuals who have made a significant contribution to society through engineering innovation. Past IHOF innovations include the Universal Product Code, satellite radio, text messaging, the implantable insulin pump, Doppler radar, flexible coronary artery stents, and the asynchronous transfer mode switch. All of these showcase a wide-ranging impact across many industries. The Hall of Fame is a physical reminder of the life-changing innovations made by our community. We are fortunate to have several IHOF members with us this evening. Please stand and be recognized when I call your name. Ashish Bagai. John Barris. Fritz Kub. Okay. Donald Willis. Thank you for joining us this evening and the contributions that you have made to society and to the University of Maryland. On a somber note, just a few weeks ago, we were deeply saddened by the unexpected passing of Dr. Reinhard Rademacher, an IHOF member and the chair of the 2025 Selection Committee. Reinhard Rademacher was inducted into the IHOF in 2001 for his groundbreaking contributions to environmental and energy systems applications. A true pioneer, his leadership in refrigeration system innovation and alternative refrigerants helped shape a more sustainable future, one that minimizes the environmental impact while meeting the global demand of energy needs. But beyond his extraordinary technical achievements, Reinhard was also a deeply valued member of the Clark School community. He cared, not just about advancing science and technology, but he cared about people, about our students, our faculty, and the mission that we all share to innovate for the public good. While this evening is bittersweet without him, it is also fitting that we continue his commitment to recognize those whose contributions are shaping the future. Reinhard led this year's selection process and was truly impressed and inspired by the inductees we are about to honor. He believed wholeheartedly in celebrating excellence, innovation, and impact, values that each of tonight's honorees embody. And so, in that spirit, we now turn our attention to the 2025 inductees, visionaries whose work carries the legacy of excellence and innovation forward. At this time, I'd like to invite IHOF member and Clark School alumnus Ashish Bagai, as well as Heather Medina, Senior Director of Operations and Constituent Engagement, to join me here on the stage for the induction ceremony.
Would Ethan Brown please join us on stage? Ethan Brown is the founder and chief executive officer of Beyond Meat, a company dedicated to creating meat products from plants. The son of Dr. Peter G. Brown, founder of the University of Maryland's School of Public Policy and a leader in environmental ethics and conservation. Ethan grew up in Washington, D.C., on the edge of the university's College Park campus. Before founding Beyond Meat, Ethan worked in the clean energy sector, focusing on the restructuring of the nation's electric grid and renewable power systems. Though passionate about clean energy, Ethan began to see a larger opportunity to impact climate change by bringing innovation to agriculture. He focused on how a change in meat production, producing it directly from plants versus feeding plants to animals, could simultaneously address human health, climate, natural resource, and animal welfare challenges. In 2009, Ethan founded Beyond Meat. Its flagship product, the Beyond Burger, revolutionized the meat aisle by being the first plant-based burger sold in the meat case alongside beef at major grocery stores from Walmart to Whole Foods Market. Early on, the company worked with the University of Maryland Department of Nutrition and Food Science to improve the texture and mouthfeel of its first plant-based protein strip, similar to chicken, as well as how to produce it in volume. That work was conducted through a two-phase project funded by the Clark School's Maryland Industrial Partnerships Program. One of Beyond Meat's key innovations lies in its groundbreaking approach to replicating meat at the molecular level. By deconstructing meat into its essential components, amino acids, lipids, carbohydrates, minerals, and water, and rebuilding them using plant-based ingredients, Beyond Meat has pioneered a process that develops products that are both appealing to customers and environmentally friendly. Its process reduces greenhouse gases by 90%, land and water use by 97% compared to a conventional beef burger. The A. James Clark School of Engineering is pleased to induct Ethan Brown into the Innovation Hall of Fame. His citation reads, "Presented to Ethan Brown for redefining the future of food by integrating cutting-edge technology and sustainability to solve grand challenges."
Thank you. Thank you so much. When I received the notice to come here, I was really honored. This school means an enormous amount to me, and I grew up as a very young child on this campus. And you know, I guess I really need to thank my parents, my father, who started me on this journey and was a tremendous force here at the university, my wife, my aunt, who's probably listening and watching, and my broader family. But I also need to thank two individuals who are here. Ronnie Gist, if Ronnie could stand up for 1 second. Ronnie, we wouldn't be here without you. So Ronnie took a belief in me years ago up in Western Maryland when I was working on these concepts. And you know, funding is always hard to come by for new ideas, and he was rigorous in his analysis, but did grant us 2 MIPS awards, and so it was really important to me. And then Seth Goldman, who is here, is my business partner. He's chairman of our board and a tremendous innovator and entrepreneur himself. And so, you know, it takes a village to do something like this and to sustain it. And I've been blessed to have so many great folks around me, from my family all the way through to my partners and the folks who've helped me along the way. So thank you all so much. It's a real big honor. Appreciate it.
Will Rama Chellapa please come forward? Rama Chellapa is a University of Maryland College Park professor who served as chair of the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering from 2011 to 2018. He is currently a Bloomberg Distinguished Professor in the Departments of Electrical and Computer Engineering and Biomedical Engineering, with a secondary appointment in the Department of Computer Science at Johns Hopkins University. He's a member of the National Academy of Engineering, holds 9 patents, and is a recipient of numerous awards that recognize his contributions in research, teaching, innovation, and mentoring. Rama's research has shaped the field of facial recognition technology. He's advanced the field of automatic face recognition by introducing the use of local and global facial features for video face recognition. He designed algorithms and systems that could recognize low-resolution faces at distances greater than 100 meters, even in difficult atmospheric conditions. He led a project to solve the challenging unconstrained face verification and recognition problems based on deep neural networks using curated image and video data collected under strict privacy regulations. The end-to-end face recognition system built by his team has been transitioned to the Departments of Justice, Defense, and Homeland Security. One of Rama's nominators shared that his efforts represent the best that America has to offer in innovation to make our country and the world a better place. The A. James Clark School of Engineering is pleased to induct Rama Chellapa into the Innovation Hall of Fame. His citation reads, "Presented to Rama Chellapa for advancing global safety and security through transformative advancements in AI, including face recognition and gait analysis."
Thanks, Dean Graham. Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Ashish. And good evening, friends. I came to College Park as a student in spring 1979 to work with Professor Asriel Rosenfeld's lab, and then I went back to Purdue and finished my Ph.D. If you spend 4 years at Purdue in West Lafayette, the first place you want to go to is California. So I went to University of Southern California. I think some of you may feel the same way today, given the windy conditions here, right? But Maryland is still a good place. So anyway, I was happy in California, and one day I felt like maybe we should try a different place, and I told my mentor, Asriel Rosenfeld. Professor Rosenfeld was a distinguished professor here. I said, Asriel, I want to leave Los Angeles. I probably will go back to Purdue, although it's a cold place. He says, no, come here. We'd love to have you here. So I came. 29 years I spent at Purdue. I had great colleagues, lots of collaborations, and graduated close to 100 PhD students. Every day I came to work here, I was extremely happy, and I left happy. So it's a great place to work. And I became a chair because my good friend Patrick O'Shea decided to do something else. It was not in my agenda. I get a call from Dean Pine, Rama, I need to speak to you now. I said, no, I'll speak to you later. You know, I'm busy. No, you got to speak to me now because your chair is becoming VPR. I need somebody to run the place for a year. I said, for a year? Yeah, it's fine. It's never a year with these jobs. I want to thank my parents, and I definitely sincerely want to thank my wife, Ishnupriya. She has been with me with all the ups and downs and with all the challenges and late night hours and so forth. So, you know, when you think about your career as a professor, you know, with all the accolades, all the awards, they're all okay. But the fact that we're teaching the next generation and we're mentoring students in and out, day in and day out, there's nothing to replace that happiness, irrespective of whatever happens. Let's not worry about overhead returns. Let's not worry about any of that. The fact is, we still come to campus every day, we teach, and we make careers. And so we have to be happy, everybody who is here. Thank you very much.
Will Carol Teolis please join us on stage? Carol Teolis is a triple terp, having earned a bachelor's degree in both electrical engineering and mathematics, as well as a master's and doctoral degree in electrical engineering. I'd like to invite Carol's advisor, Dr. John Barris, distinguished university professor and IHOF member, to join on stage and share a few words about Carol. Oh, sure.
I run ahead of the events, I guess. Good evening. It's a distinct pleasure and honor, actually, and pride to say a few words about Carol. And following what Rama said, is the best reward you have to see your students excel, better than you. So Carol was an exceptional student. As he said before a few minutes, we had agreements and disagreements, which is actually what makes interesting life. She worked on robustness, which is a fundamental problem. That is actually the genesis of her field, which is control systems. And then she worked in a lot of other things. She was what I will call the epitome of fearless, working on difficult problems and going to faraway places to learn new things. She went far away to Australia to work there and learn some new techniques, and where my other student who was close to her field was Matthew James. And she came back and she immediately gave me some ideas about kinds of things we want to do here to improve the environment. And then she went to entrepreneurship, and she did great, as you can all see from her background. Various kinds of awards, a lot of creativity, and so on and so forth. And we still talk, and we still agree and disagree. So it's a, it's a real pleasure and pride to see Carol being honored in this way. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Barris. Carol Teolis has dedicated her professional career to the pursuit of engineering research and development that is both impactful and marketable. Carol co-founded TRX Systems as a Clark School MTech Ventures incubator company and built it into a successful commercial company where she serves as its chief technology officer. Under her leadership, TRX has distinguished itself as an industry leader in developing infrastructure-free, GPS-denied navigation and mapping solutions. TRX's core technology comprises innovative algorithms and hardware that integrate satellite-based positioning, navigation, and timing data with inputs from inertial sensors, maps, and other sources to reliably track user positions in environments where GPS signals are unavailable or compromised. The company's comprehensive suite of technologies features innovations in sensor fusion, navigation integrity, estimation, localization, and mapping, supported by more than 49 US and 23 international patents. The impact of TRX's assured PNT technology is global. It has been deployed to thousands of users worldwide, enabling reliable navigation for military personnel, first responders, and commercial operators in the most challenging conditions. As a direct result of Carol's efforts, TRX technology has been delivered to numerous national stakeholder organizations, including the U.S. Army, DARPA, U.S. Special Operations Command, U.S. Air Force, the National Science Foundation, and the Department of Homeland Security. One of her milestone achievements came in 2023 when TRX was selected to receive the U.S. Army Program of Record contract to deliver dismount-assured PNT systems. Designed to replace legacy systems such as the Defense Advanced GPS Receiver, the TRX solution was selected as the best device to provide soldiers with a navigation and positioning solution that is reliable in even contested environments. The A. James Clark School of Engineering is pleased to induct Carol Teolis into the Innovation Hall of Fame. Her citation reads, "Presented to Carol Teolis for improving security, aiding military operations, and protecting lives through GPS-denied positioning technologies and infrastructure-free tracking solutions."
Shortest for last, huh? So I definitely was honored and surprised to be nominated for this award. I'm very honored to have been selected, and I just want to say that this was a team effort. Our founding team is sitting in the third row. Carol Politi, Ben Funk, Bill Blankenship, all were extremely important in making TRX a success and definitely making it fun. So we have relied on University of Maryland, both from all of my education that I earned here, which was actually, you know, you look back and you say, when I was here, I wouldn't have thought that I would look back and think that that was really fun, but it really was. John sent me to Australia to work with some of his students, and I feel really privileged to have been able to do all these things. And even starting the company, we were supported by the Maryland Industrial Partnerships. We were one of the awardees for the Incubator Hall of Incubator Company of the Year in 2008 as we graduated from MTech, and it was really very helpful on the business side to have that kind of support from the university. Anyway, thank you. I'm very honored to have been nominated for this award.
So we always talk about our students and our alumni impacting the world, and this is really a great opportunity to honor those that have made such great contributions. I'd also like to recognize the friends, families, mentors that are here tonight that also helped them along their journey. And also I'd like to recognize MIPS, who's here, that obviously played a role in helping some of these technologies transition into successful companies. So thank you very much for all that you have done for the University of Maryland, for the state of Maryland, as well as for society in general. Please join me in a round of applause for our 3 IHOF inductees. It's obvious that the incredible achievements that they have achieved will serve as an inspiration to us here as faculty, staff, and students. And that's why we have the IHOF here for others to come and see each and every day. Next, we'll be joined by a group of outstanding student leaders who will facilitate a discussion based on questions submitted by the Clark School community. While we transition to this next segment, we invite you to turn your attention to the screen for a short video celebrating those represented in the IHOF. Enjoy the video, and we'll be back with our student panel.
Good evening. Congratulations to the Innovation Hall of Fame inductees. My name is Katie Elliott, and I am a senior civil engineering major and the president of Tau Beta Pi Engineering Honor Society. I am joined by Nicole Yule, a senior mechanical engineer and Tau Beta Pi's vice president. Tau Beta Pi's vision is to recognize and celebrate excellence in engineering. We are honored to discuss innovation with distinguished members of the Maryland community. I'd like to invite Ethan Brown, Rama Chellapa, and Carol Teolis to join us on stage.
We are honored to represent the Maryland engineering community during this discussion. Tonight's first question is for the whole panel. What initially inspired you to pursue your field, and how did your time at the University of Maryland shape your journey?
So pursuing my field of electrical engineering was my dad, but getting into TRX, I was working at a company that did a bunch of different things, and I started working on this project with Ben, and he was exciting to work with. He was an out-of-the-box thinker. I really enjoyed it. I thought we could build a company that made a product that would actually help people, and that was really what drove me to go into this. And my background that I got from the university was super helpful in being able to do the algorithms and that we needed. But
I think because I had such a long exposure to the university, I learned very early, and I've said this many times, that big companies have big research and development departments, but entrepreneurs have universities. And you have the opportunity to really engage with the university and learn, and then access the intellectual property that's being developed and help it be commercialized. And so as a child, when I was here, sit in my dad's classes, and then he was at the time studying agriculture himself, and so I would sit in those classes with him, and I would go then into different disciplines and just be able to learn and absorb everything I could. And this university is so diverse and so strong that I left with a very well-rounded education that helped me attack problems. I was just giving an interview today to somebody who was asking me this type of question, and I was saying I thought about the mission first and the problem first, and then thought about the solution, instead of coming up with a product and then trying to force it onto the market, right? And so the university gave me that ability and the partnerships and the access to faculty to be able to do that.
Hi. When I was 15, I listened to the radio coverage of Apollo 11 landing on the moon. Small radio, but that was the big stuff. So I said, well, if somebody can go to moon and come back, that's engineering. So I said, that's what I want to do. And then 2 months later, we had 2 tickets to go and see the documentary on that in the US consular office in Chennai. And I was just fascinated with the Saturn V booster going up and all that stuff. But we didn't have many undergraduate aeronautics department at that time. So I did the next best thing, which is electronics and communication engineering, because I felt, well, if you do ECE, in fact, I say this all the time to the consternation of my non-ECE people, is eclectic engineering. ECE is, you do ECE, you can do anything. You can do control, you can do devices, you can do this, you can do that. And I also said I liked Maxwell's equation better than Navier-Stokes equations. So that's when I became an electrical engineer and so on, and it continued. And so engineers, we build things, right? So it's a very positive life.
Thank you. The next question is for Carol. With AI advancing rapidly, how do you see it shaping our daily lives over the next decade, and what skills should students develop to stay ahead?
So shaping our daily lives, obviously, you should all buy Teslas. My son convinced me to buy one, and I love it. Self-driving, I don't drive anymore. It really works. And it's pretty amazing. Of course, there's all other kinds of applications, and we use it in our system as well. What do you need to do? You need to be able to question it, like what are the, learn how it works, all of the tool chains that you can use to make these systems work. Most of the AI learning models needs lots of data. And I think there's some interesting work going on now where they use model-based, like where they combine the model-based things with the AI to hopefully reduce the amount of data that you need to get something to work.
Thank you for sharing. Rama, Your research has significantly advanced facial recognition technology. How do you balance innovation with concerns about privacy and data security?
That's a very good question. When we build the system for face recognition for IHOF, it's a government agency. One of the first things is the data will be collected under strict privacy concern. That means whose images are there, they will have perfect consent, 100%. They say, yep, we are fine with our data being used. And it's not peculiar to face recognition. Privacy is very important in medical data, right? If you go and see your doctor, they'll ask you, who can we share your data with? And you say, maybe my partner, my mother, then only they will share. So there's an industry out there. It knows how to protect privacy of data and how to manage it and so on. So the thing we worried about is not only the privacy issue, because we have to make sure the data is collected under IRB. This is called Institutional Review Board. You know about that. So that's how the data is collected. In the first program IRB did, they didn't want to even release the data. But I told them, unless you release a version, it will not be available to everybody to evaluate and compare. And if I go and tell them I get 85% on this data, they say, we don't know how hard that data is. See? So I told them, you have to release and make sure everybody follows the rules, right? So you cannot second distribute and so on. So there are provisions available for that. Of course, there are other issues with every technology with AI. It's not just face. With AI, the question of bias, the question of explainability, all of them. In fact, now I am saying, if you can solve face recognition, you can solve AI. Because all the problems you see that people talk about in AI, we have known that in face recognition for decades. So there is a nice surrogate problem that you can solve. And then you can answer the larger questions about AI. Because we all use data, we all have similar issues. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now turn it over to our co-moderators for the next set of questions.
Thank you. My name is Emma Perez, and I'm a Clark Scholar, and I'm currently studying aerospace engineering. I'm joined by Anne Audrey Ezzi, who is a computer engineer and a teaching fellow. Our first question is directed for the full panel. What emerging technologies or trends excite you the most in your respective fields?
I think it's one of the things that I just love about innovation is the process of continually getting better. And so we actually named our innovation program at Beyond Meat the Rapid and Relentless Innovation Program. And so there's a lot of different ways to approach what we're doing, but the basic idea, right, is to take the proteins and lipids and minerals and everything else directly from the plant versus running that plant through the animal. And there's a lot of technologies that are coming on board that can allow you to do that in a more precise way, like precision fermentation and things of that nature. So for us now, it's about how do you do that in the most efficient way with the fewest number of ingredients and the cleanest ingredients. And so there's some things that are coming online that are allowing us to do that I'm very excited about.
So I would say sensor technology for tracking is pretty, AI also, but sensor technology, there are when we started, we had these really terrible sensors that we were trying to track firefighters with, and they were expensive, they were terrible, and as cell phones got better, they added all the sensors in, and for gamers, they improved the sensors to sell them to cell phone companies, and now they have fog gyros that are the size of a quarter. That's like 1/500th the size of what it used to be. So sensor technology is just rapidly accelerating, and all of this can make tracking systems really a lot easier. So it's very exciting.
I'm like a kid in a candy store. You ask a kid, which candy do you like? Everything. So I've been working in AI in various forms since the early 80s. So AI and medicine, I'm very excited, and that's one of the reasons why I went to Hopkins. AI and machine learning in medicine. We have lots of collaborations, including the son of Professor Barras here. We write joint papers, and he's not happy about it. He says, how come you didn't write with me and you're writing with my son? I had an answer for him, but I told him I'm not going to share that. But AI for medicine, AI for education. Years ago, in one of these Computer Research Association meetings, somebody asked me, what is your moonshot? I said, I want 1 physical teacher and 30 virtual teachers in class. So the virtual teacher will cater to the individual needs of the student. Not everybody in a class is brilliant. There are about 5-10 brilliant students and 5-10 students who are lagging behind. There are about 20 students in the middle. So this teacher is distracted. So how can AI be useful? Discovery of new materials is already happening, okay? It's because being able to interpret very high-dimensional data in its full nonlinear form is a dream. And now we are able to do it with all its warts. I mean, AI is not perfect. Nobody would say that. So I feel like I'm beginning my career now. I feel like I'm 30. Much older than that, but I feel like I'm 30. It's exciting. And AI is going to do a lot of good. Everybody talks about Tesla. Yeah, it's okay.
I'm taking you for a ride.
I mean, we used to work on that problem for DARPA, 1992 to onwards, autonomous land vehicle. John, you know that Asriel's lab, autonomous land, unmanned ground vehicle. We did all of that. Tesla is kind of a good conclusion to that, maybe. But the other things that AI can do, mining data, in general improving the society, the quality of life, it's exciting, yeah.
Thank you. Our next question is for Ethan. Beyond Meat was a groundbreaking idea in the food industry. How did you approach disrupting an established market, and what lessons can you share?
When I think about this, this question, there's disruption in the sense of, okay, well, the cell phone replaces the landline or something like that, right? But then there's disruption which occurs at a much broader scale of time, and that's kind of what we're doing in the sense that people have been consuming animal protein as a source of protein for a very long time. And it's in our scriptures, it's in all of the traditions that we have. And so disrupting that is just going to take time. Right? And it's not as simple as the fax machine going away of older technologies. It's something that is ingrained in us as humans. So you have to attack it not only from the technological side of things, but also from the social side of things, right? And the philosophical side of things. And so again, I think having a well-rounded education that allows you to think in each of those spheres is really important. I think the other piece is you have to sign up for this as a marathon and be prepared for that, because it does take time, right? These things that happen overnight are never overnight. They happen over many, many years, often decades. And so, before I was in this sector, I worked in the fuel cell sector. I think they mentioned something along those lines. And I actually started a small lab on Route 1, working with the University of Maryland when I was in Glen Martin Hall and the engineering building, and then with Army Research Lab. And so what you need to do is align yourself with institutions, funding sources that see a longer picture. So Army Research Lab in that case was thinking about fuel cells for APUs, for use in tactical operations. The University of Maryland, is thinking about how to solve social problems, right? And then you have to find people in the funding area that think the same way and have a very long-term institutional view of things. That's the way to disrupt, right? And it takes endurance. It takes endurance. And so maybe starting out, helping people understand that there's going to be peaks and valleys. And getting through those is probably the most important part. Having great partners that help you do that is one of the most important things.
Thank you so much. Our final question is going to be for the whole panel. What skills or mindsets should students develop to make a meaningful impact on major challenges?
So I would say, and I could still work on it, communication skills are the best thing. I mean, technology for sure, but you have to be able to communicate what you're doing, what you're working on to different audiences. technical or non-technical. Why is it exciting? You know, the other thing is, it takes a long time, and you're gonna fail. Things are not gonna work out, and you just have to be confident that what you're trying to do will work and that you can do it. It is hard work to build a company, but it is fun, and you know, it's exciting to see it succeed, and it's exciting to see, like in our case, soldiers put on the technology, and we actually just last week fielded the first systems for our technology, so to the Army. So that was really exciting.
I think passion. You need to kind of figure out. I was lucky, just that Apollo thing changed everything for me. I had no doubts. And the second thing I had no doubt was I wanted to be a teacher. Because my father was a teacher, high school teacher, taught chemistry, physics, math. And then he had 3 kids, salary was not enough, he became a banker. But he used to tell me how much he enjoyed being a teacher. And so, at a young age itself, I was very happy to help all my classmates, do problems for them. I wrote on the doors with chalk piece. The next people who came to our apartment, they said, all the others' doors are brown, why is yours all white? They said, oh, my son, you know, is a crazy kid. He wrote in the chalk piece all the equations and so forth. So I liked that. So I was a teacher. I wanted to be a teacher. I didn't know at that time what a teacher means. I mean, I knew my teachers, but I didn't know any professors. And my father said, no, you should finish your undergraduate education in engineering and become a Class 1 officer in Indian Railway Service Commission. You get 3 first-class passes, 6 discounted passes, a nice quarters, a peon to help with things, and all of that. But if you are going to be a lecturer, you are going to stand in the railway ticket line by yourself. I said, that's okay, I'll stand. I said, that's not a problem. Then I came to United States. And you know, you study, you become a professor, life is good. Most professors will tell you, if you ask them. Life is good as a professor. You come, you teach, you spend time with kids who are so much smarter than you. You know how much we learn from our students? We learn something from our teachers, but we learn an order of magnitude more from our students. And you know, sometimes when I think about it, it gives me goosebumps, how that student suddenly came with that idea, and so that passion. I didn't worry too much about, you know, stocks. No stocks in universities, right? We don't get any stocks. We don't get bonuses. So, but the fact you can come to work every day and be with other smart professors, some of them are a little hard to get along with. It's okay. It comes with it. It's all a package. That is what's important. And to me, I'm very fortunate. I've never had a doubt. I want to be a teacher, a professor, and so on. I'm enjoying it. I think that is the most important thing. Once you have the passion, the skills come, and ups and downs, you'll be able to. Even in Ph.D., we have ups and downs. 4 years, we have ups and downs. Life is full of ups and downs. But if you, hey, this is what I want to do, you will be successful. No problem. We are all gifted. We all have gifts. We just have to identify, match that to something that we want to do. And
yeah, so I think thinking about the question, Edwin Land comes to mind, who was the inventor of the Polaroid and many other things. And I think his guiding philosophy is one that I really buy into, which is to think about what the world needs more of, try to invent it, and try to make it available to as many people as possible. Don't go out and do something that someone else can do, right? Try to find something and then lose yourself in it. And there's a moment in a very famous book written about him called Insisting on the Impossible, where he talks about the folks in the lab becoming so lost in their work that they forget to eat, they forget to shower, they forget to go home. And I'm trying that with my employees. It's not working, particularly, but it is that it's a joy to have that moment where you're like, wow, I just want to keep doing this, right? And so find something in your life that is that compelling, and then it's an amazing feeling, right? And so for me, it's been searching for that and aligning every part of my world with something that I care so much about that I'm willing to endure the hardships, right? And that is the process of innovation, of invention, and it's a gift to have it. It's a gift to be involved in it, and that's the approach you have to take.
I just want to say one thing. I want to give a shout out to my good friend, Dr. Jonathan Phillips. He and we have been collaborators since the early 90s. Thank you, Jonathan, for coming.
Sitting next to my good friend here, I can't help but think of the joke about the engineer and the guillotine. Does anyone know that? The French Revolution? Okay, enough people know it, I won't tell it, but it's a great joke. Tell it? Okay, so it's the French Revolution, and you have I hope my dad's watching this, because this is a joke he told me. You've got a priest, you have a philosopher, and you have an engineer, and they're all being brought up for various crimes, and they're going to be killed by a guillotine, right? And they're given an opportunity to say a speech before they do that, something like what we just did. And then if the guillotine doesn't work, they get to go free, right? And so the philosopher is the first one up, and he talks a lot about Plato and what it meant to him and all this other stuff, right? And you know, guillotine comes down, stops. So, oh my God, I get to go, right? And the priest gets up and says something about, St. Francis, and gets there, and the guillotine stops short, gets to go. The engineer gets up, starts saying something, wait, I think I know what's wrong. That's it. Yeah, I know.
Okay. Thank you all for joining us for this inspiring discussion. Tonight, we've seen firsthand how innovation shapes our future, and we hope you leave feeling just as inspired as we are. Now, we invite you to continue the conversation at our dessert reception in the Hall of Fame, where you can view the newly installed plaques honoring our distinguished innovators. Enjoy the reception, and thank you again for being part of this celebration of excellence and innovation. Go Terps.
I had never heard that joke, so that was Sorry.